So what's going on, guys? Box here, and here we go. The highly anticipated MotoGP 21 has some gameplay released, and today we're going to be taking a look at it. We're going to be breaking it down. So I uploaded it to my channel on Thursday when it got released the same day, just so you guys could see the raw gameplay in that. I mean, the Milestone YouTube channel, they uploaded it. So I'll have to link to the original video in there, but now today I'm going to break it down a bit further. I'm going to give you my insight and what I think to the gameplay. You guys have left plenty of comments on there already of what you guys think, and I tell you what, it's looking pretty good. I didn't expect to make this sort of level of jump this year, but I'm looking forward to seeing it and getting my hands on the game as soon as possible, really. So let's take a look. Let's start to break it down when we play this. And the first thing you see, the main obvious thing is the long lap penalty. We finally see that in action, and you see that towards the end of the gameplay. But if we just run through this gameplay, I mean, the lighting and visual effects, they've been improved over the previous game by looks of things. So you know, the lighting looking better, shadows. Even the way it just casts over the bike, some reflections. There's the other Ducati, but look at the back of our Ducati, there's some slight reflections going on here. And looking in the bottom right, if you look at the HUD, that's another thing that's been updated as well. We'll talk about that in a minute, but the HUD in the bottom right, at some point it does look like a PlayStation set of buttons in the bottom right. So I think this kind of looks like some PlayStation gameplay, but I'm interested to know if it is PlayStation 5 or sort of PS4 Pro, or even it could be PC using a PlayStation controller. But we'll keep an eye on the HUD in the bottom right to see whether we can confirm whether it is PlayStation or not. But shadows, they're looking better as well in terms of the accuracy of the colours too. So overall visual improvements. The HUD, as you can see, bottom right, oh look at that, as one of the Tech 3s tries to come underneath from Miller. Look at that, barging his way through Dino Petrucci. Look at that, trying to get through the long lap penalty. So yeah, this is the long lap, and you know what, it's going to be pretty tricky, I think, trying to navigate your way through that. So, you know, a bit of practice on the old long lap penalties I think is going to be needed. But I mean, listen to this here, listen, before we talk about the HUD, or before we talk about anything else, just listen to the exhaust on the downshifts. Did you hear that? Did you hear the depth of the tones of the exhaust crackling and popping away? I mean, that sounded a lot better than the previous game. So Milestone looked to have, you know, worked on the sound effects for the game. The engine and exhaust sound slightly improved. I think the engine tone is pretty similar to last year, but those exhaust sound effects, like the crackles, the pops, they sound there's a lot more depth to them. So maybe they've done a little bit of work around the sound, trying to make it, you know, a little bit more realistic. So yeah, getting back to the HUD then, bottom right, you know, it's upgraded slightly. You've still got similar information, so you've got the tyre temperatures, but and you've also got a fuel gauge as well, which is a lot more useful. It tells you whether you're up or down on on sort of your lap, your fuel capacity by lap. So that's returning, that's useful, but it's good to see the actual gauge, so you can see, you know, I've got 75% left, I've got 60% left. Whatever it may be, but you know, that's a useful addition. You've also there got a brake temperature indicator. So from the initial feature list we saw of this game, we did see that brake temperature was going to be added into the game, so managing overheating brakes. So we have also got on the HUD, if you take a look, is there's traction control settings, there's anti-wheelie settings, there's power, which is your engine mapping, which links to the fuel. You've also now got EBS, which I'm presuming is some sort of electronic brake or electronic management for your brakes, probably sort of like, you know, ABS sort of thing. So that goes up to a setting of what, 5 by the looks of it, potentially more. So you can obviously use sort of ABS or what they call it EBS here, almost like an assist or an electronic to help control that brake temperature. So that looks like it's new and added in there. So that's pretty cool. You've also got your usual, you know, your gear, your current speed, which is in this case in kilometers. You've also got the rev count around the outside. It looks really nice and improved over last year's. And then bottom left, you've got the map as usual. You can see that yellow little loop is the penalty loop, so that's in there. So you know, around your lap, you know, you can plan it in if you're in a bit of a battle or you can tactically sort of plan how you want to take it. So that'll be cool. You obviously got the bottom right indicating that you've got long lap penalty, and at the end of the lap it says how many laps you've got left to take the penalty as well. Top left then looks like, you know, you've got more of a stack on the left hand side. Usually you only get the stack of the race standings at the end of each lap, but it looks like it's going to go from P1 to P8. A little reminder there on the left hand side about, you know, you've got to take it within 4 laps. But yeah, updated stack on the left, you know, rider numbers, team colours, rider names, and also the lap as well. So that was really nice. Top right, you got lap information, so the usual stuff. So looking really good then, the HUD. I think, you know, is on brand with the MotoGP TV styles presentation stuff. And by the looks of it, the penalty lap, if you take a look, bottom left, it's now lit up white. So when it's yellow, you have to serve a penalty lap. But when it's white, you don't have to. So that's cool. In here as well, you've got obviously some rider livery updates. So you've got the Ducati new livery. I presume that's the updated Yamaha livery. You've got Quartararo in here now. Marc Marquez is in the game too, obviously. I think he's set to return at the start of the season. You've also got the Tech 3 livery, the KTM livery. I imagine at the time of this gameplay they were still working on the Petronas livery because that obviously wasn't quite released yet. So it doesn't look like we've got all riders in this race. So I wonder if you can, in custom race, whether you can cut down the grid and do a smaller grid race, or whether it's just for the purposes of this gameplay, I don't know. But I mean, looking at the physics then, if we just rewind this bit and take a look as he's braking, take a look at the bike movement and the body movement of the rider. You see that wiggle as he was applying pressure on the brakes. You could see the body moving, the frame of the bike moving, the suspension sort of compressing and decompressing. So it looks like they've worked on sort of the visual effects. You'll see that coming around some of these corners, tipping it in, because, you know, when these guys are riding these bikes, the bike's going to be moving all over the place underneath of them. It looks kind of bumpy at times, but I think it is a realistic presentation of, you know, what the rider is feeling as he's going through corners. Under braking, the bike and the body are going to be going through a lot of different sort of forces, and, you know, it's going to make the body look unstable and shake around a bit. And I think, you know, Milestone going for that and really, you know, showing that in this gameplay as well. And then when you brake and when you accelerate, you know, mid-corner sort of adjustments, I think it is quite a realistic way to sort of, you know, show the physics and show the animations. So then that's going to do it for today's video. There's not a lot much else that I could see in here really. I mean, improvements in visuals, lighting effects, that sort of thing. We've got updated liveries, an updated HUD which looks very, very nice, a lot more detailed information. We got a sort of a sneak peek at, you know, the brake management system and how you can use electronic assist to sort of help manage that, similar to what you've got with tyre wear and traction control and anti-wheelie, that sort of thing. And also obviously the power engine mapping mode to save fuel and things like that. So you got the updated HUD. And yeah, you know, the sounds are sounding really good. Sound like they've added extra sound effects in, especially when deceleration. I mean, if we skip to here, I'm going to show the clip again. As Miller there, as he's shifting down the gears, it just sounds incredible. So 22nd of April, we'll all be able to get our hands on the game. PlayStation 5, PS4, Xbox Series X and Series S, as well as last gen Xbox One. And then Nintendo Switch, Epic Games Store and Steam. So plenty of ways to get your hands on the game. Really looking forward to it. Anytime Milestone release any new gameplay for MotoGP or any news, anything like that, I will be sharing it on here. So make sure you get subscribed to the channel to stay up to date with the development of this game. So for now, if you aren't around here, get subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next one.